I'm going to be honest. Even if she wasn't a serial perjurer and also a notorious sex trafficker of minors, and she was like doing some other crimes, right? Even if she was like, I don't know, engaging in not the crimes that we know her for, but instead like, I don't know, tax evasion, and the president had the opportunity to grant her a pardon, of course, I would be like, clearly she's lying. Okay, Ghislain Maxwell, folks. While I was joking around about like, while I was joking around about how conservatives might take the Ghislain Maxwell stuff, it turns out they weren't joking. Okay, here's Margarine Titan Greed. Ghislain Maxwell says President Trump was never inappropriate with anyone and was a perfect gentleman in all respects. I'll say it again. The Democrats tried to put President Trump in jail for the rest of his life, destroy his business, and take his wealth. And multiple assassins tried to kill him. They were all fucking Republican, but that's besides the point. Some of which had voted for Donald Trump and some were registered Republicans. But we're not going to get into that. If there had ever been any evidence against Donald Trump in any of the Epstein case files, the Democrats, the demon rats, would have used it against him long ago. President Trump has been vindicated once again. To which I responded with, the serial perjurer, convicted sex trafficker of children, said the president, who can grant her freedom, is an upstanding gentleman to the president's personal attorney. The idea that Ghislain Maxwell gains nothing from exonerating Trump is so fucking stupid that I would even expect Marjorie Taylor Greene's dumbass MAGA cultist audience to be like, this doesn't make a lot of sense here, you know? She is profoundly stupid. Your Marjorie Taylor Greene is your magnum opus? Thank you.
300 pages of transcripts and audio recordings from their prison interview with Ghislain Maxwell. The interviews took place earlier this summer while the former girlfriend and accomplice of notorious sex criminal Jeffrey Epstein was in federal prison in Tallahassee, Florida. Here's Nicole Killian.
Ghislain Maxwell, in her own words, denying the existence of a client list involving the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
There is no list. There is no, I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that, I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
The 300-plus page transcript released late Friday by the Justice Department follows a two-day interview last month with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche, who previously served as the president's personal attorney.
President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me, and I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now.
Maxwell had nothing but praise for the president, while her lawyer has made it clear she's interested in a pardon. She claims she never saw any improper or sexual behavior involving him or any other high-profile figures.
I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody.
Do you know whether, for example, President Clinton ever received a massage?
I don't believe he did.
Following the interview, Maxwell was transferred to a lower security prison in Texas. The release comes as the administration has been under growing pressure from lawmakers and the public to fully disclose the Epstein files.
Innocent people shouldn't be hurt, but I'm in support of keeping it totally open.
Epstein was found dead in his detention cell back in 2019 while awaiting trial. Maxwell indicated in her interview that she believes Epstein did not kill himself. But earlier this week at a congressional deposition, former Attorney General Bill Barr, who probed Epstein's death, said he still stands by his finding that it was a suicide. For CBS Saturday Morning, Nicole Killian, Washington.
She served. This is like when I used to start hyping on my teacher to get out of detention. Man, you're such a good teacher. You do so much for all of us, and I think you deserve to be Principal Lamau. Who amongst us has not been in a situation where someone who has a tremendous power over us had the opportunity to grant us freedom, and we just kind of fucking played ball? You know, you do that. That's a thing you do. Like, who the fuck looks at this situation and goes, well, she said it. Like, even if she wasn't, I'm going to be honest, even if she wasn't a serial perjurer and also a notorious sex trafficker of minors, and she was like doing some other crimes, right? Even if she was like, I don't know, engaging in not the crimes that we know her for, but instead like, I don't know, tax evasion, and the president had the opportunity to grant her a pardon, of course, I would be like, clearly she's lying. Like, even if the only thing she was in jail for was tax evasion, right? And she was still connected to Epstein somehow. And she was like, yeah, I think Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein had no real relationship, and Donald Trump is a really nice guy. I would still not believe her. Why the fuck would I believe her? She's, you know, she has every reason to lie here, to play ball.
20 years for helping her former lover, Jeffrey Epstein, traffic underage girls. Now Ghislain Maxwell is...
Also, in the deposition, she keeps referring to her boyfriend, on-again, off-again boyfriend, / notorious serial criminal sex trafficker pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein, who she raped minors with, literally convicted of this. Okay, as Epstein by his last name, like this is a random stranger. I covered this yesterday, but it's like, oh, who's this Epstein fellow, you say? Oh, the New York financier? I would not know. I don't know him. I don't know him at all. I've never known him, as a matter of fact. Who is this Epstein fellow? Jeffrey who? Doesn't... name doesn't ring a bell.
Fighting to get out of jail. Last month, she talked to Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's former defense lawyer. He's now America's Deputy Attorney General, and she told him what he definitely wants to hear, that she never saw the president involved in anything improper or illegal. And Blanche has now...
No, she wasn't convicted of perjury. She was charged with perjury, but they dropped it because she was already convicted of the much more severe crimes, which she was unironically perjuring herself on. Or others did, she has lied at the behest of. That's what's so crazy about it. Like, people have interviewed her from prison, and she's been like, yeah, Prince Andrew didn't do anything. Didn't do anything at all. Like, so she was already protecting other people on the list that we know are on the list. So it's not even shocking to me that she like went as far as defending Bill Clinton here. And consistently defending Prince Andrew, saying, oh, the photos of Prince Andrew and one of the most notorious victims is fake.
Now released the audio of their 9-hour conversation.
I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
Last month, Mr. Trump said pardoning Maxwell hadn't crossed his mind.
It's I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir?
But Mr. Trump's critics believe he's trying to bury the extent of this old friendship, while Maxwell could be emulating world leaders by flattering the president to win him over.
President Trump was always very cordial and very kind to me, and I just want to say that I admire his extraordinary achievement in becoming the president now, and I like him, and I've always liked him.
Days after her interview, Maxwell was transferred to this lower security prison in Texas with no explanation, and lawyers for her and Epstein's victims fear presidential politics are swaying criminal justice.
It's very unusual for a deputy attorney general to be meeting with a criminal defendant individually. much less one who is still on appeal. She's still appealing her conviction to the Supreme Court. So I'm not certain why the meeting was held or what they were looking for, but the concern is that, once again, there's going to be an uneven level of justice being administered.
Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in this prison in 2019. Ghislain Maxwell says she doesn't believe he was deliberately killed to silence him, but nor does she believe the official verdict that he took his own life.
I do not believe he died by suicide, no. In prison, where I am, they will kill you, or they will pay, somebody can pay a prisoner to kill you for $25 worth of commissary is about the going rate for a hit with a lock today.
Maxwell denies visiting Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's Florida resort, to recruit 16-year-old Virginia Giuffre. She's always said this photo of Giuffre, apparently with Prince Andrew, is a fake, as is the allegation that she was forced to have sex with the prince in Maxwell's London home.
Prince Andrew, the idea of him doing anything of that nature in my house that's the size of this room is so mind-blowingly not conceivable to me.
It's just a hoax. The whole Epstein thing is a Democrat hoax.
Yesterday, America's president
is... Yeah, I guess, sorry, nothing we can do. Got to take the word of notorious sex trafficker of minors and rapist of minors, Ghislain Maxwell, sorry. All right, Adapt is here too. God damn, these guys are, this is crazy, okay? I've never had a situation where I had two streamers that had to arrive at a point and they both
pledged
came
to
on
be
time.
open in assisting a congressional investigation. The release of these audio recordings backs up his claim that he wasn't involved, unless Ghislain Maxwell is lying in exchange for the pardon she wants.
You can use it as well if you want after.
And we have more on that story in our investigation into the Epstein files, which finds there could be terabytes of data and evidence still not released to the public. You can watch that at youtube.com/Channel4News.
Do you know whether, for example, President Clinton ever received a massage?
I don't believe he did.
And what makes you say you don't believe he did?
Well, because I don't, so that's a good question. The time that Epstein and President Clinton spent together, the only times I believe, well, obviously they traveled. There was that, they went on the plane 26 times or whatever. That would be one journey. So they spent time on the plane together, and I don't believe there was ever a massage on the plane. So that would have been the only time that I think that President Clinton could have even received a massage, and he didn't, because I was there.
Home style cooking?
Okay.